I feel like this is one of those topics where so many of us have revisited it over the last few years and really inquired into what does this mean for me? And it's been interesting because as I've been thinking about the topic, this one particular story that's been all over the news for the last few weeks, it just keeps coming into my head. And the person and the company, to a certain extent, that it's about has been a part of my life and curiosity for a very long time. But he made a really big move that kind of blew people away in the business world, in the personal world, in the social impact world. And I'm talking about none other than a guy named Yvon Chouinard. And if you haven't heard that name before, you may not know, but he's the founder of a company called Patagonia. Patagonia is one of the largest, most successful outdoor wear and apparel and equipment companies in the world. And I had been following his journey literally for decades now because I'm deeply fascinated with who he is as a human being. I can't remember the date that the publication came out. There are a few books now, but I believe it was his first book called Let My People Go Surfing. And he was talking about sort of like the fundamental idea when he was starting this company that grew into a $3 billion company with $1 billion a year in revenue. And he was talking about building something that was deeply committed to sustainability, to the environment, to the humanity of the people within the company, to the humanity of the people in the local community, to the sustained humanity and elevation of the global community. And to that, this day, he has never shied away from that. And he comes from the beginning also, he was a rock climber. He literally like spent months, it may even been years, living out of the back of his car, like, surfing by the coast and then climbing in the mountains, and living this super simple life. His values were about simplicity, about sustainability, about being able to do the things that make him come alive and just elevating humanity wherever he went. And I bring him up now because there's a story that's been all over the news, which is that Chouinard is now in his early 80s. His kids are in the company also. It's a separate CEO, and apparently he's been thinking about succession plans for quite a while, understandably so. And they thought, do we sell the company? Do we transition it to the kids who apparently didn't want it? What do we do with this stunning company that's not only creating apparel that people wear and wear for generations? Literally, part of their ethos is if it ever breaks or rips or tears, bring it back and we'll fix it for you. The local Patagonias often have sewing machines in where they'll literally repair tears on site. And he was trying to figure out, what do we do with this? And it wasn't just about what do we do with the company. It was about how do we continue this entity in a way that continues to fund the social impact work and continues to be a source to fund the values we care so deeply about. Hopefully, like decades, generations after the founders and maybe even the founders' families are no longer with us. So they made this absolutely stunning move. Yvon basically decided to transfer the entirety of the ownership of this company into two organizations, essentially foundations, that would require them to make decisions based on sustainability and also take all of the profits from the company and being able to reinvest that in things like climate change and supporting the environment, things that were so core to it. So it's a really interesting thing in the context of a conversation around wealth, right? Because here you have somebody who started this from nothing, has never cared about money his entire life, has been very front and center about that, literally takes out full page ads in newspapers during the holiday shopping season that says, please don't buy something new, just recycle something old, or trade something with somebody else. And in doing this, based on that value set, has built really kind of a movement, and not just a consumer base or a customer base, but a community of people who are deeply devoted to the brand, to the products, to the ethos of the brand and what it stands for, what it means. And he woke up and one day signed a set of documents that transferred ownership of a $3 billion company away from him, away from his family, where they have no control over it anymore. They have no equity investment in it anymore. And from a wealth management standpoint, this would seem unfathomable. How could you ever make a decision like this? So here's my curiosity, and maybe I'll pose this question, and feel free to share your thoughts in the chat. Is Yvon Chouinard, when he wakes up the next day and he no longer owns, he has literally just transferred $3 billion of assets away from him and his family, is he less wealthy that morning than he was the morning before? I'm curious. Drop what your thoughts are in the chat if you feel open to that. So we have an early no, far more wealthy, no, infinitely more wealthy, far more wealthy. I love this, right? So, and I'm pretty confident you all know where I'm going with this. Definitely wealthy, absolutely not. Like, based on the ethos, wealth is it. Like, wealth is not measured in dollars. Yeah. And I would completely agree with you. You know, if anything, what I would say is that he's as wealthy, if not more wealthy, because what he's done is, you know, sustainability and the environment have always been core to his value set as a human being from the earliest of days. And what he did was not just give away money, give away ownership of a company, but he structured a deal so that what he had built would endure for maybe generations and serve as a funding mechanism for his deepest, his DNA important level value for generations. So to me, like, when you step back and you look at what you've just done, he's even wealthier than before, because wealth is not just about money. And I also don't want to say that it's not about money, right? But it's not just about money. And even when it is, it's more about what you do with what you have than just having it.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.